But we call down each other's egos when they're big, don't we? Getting in your ego there. Pretty pumped up. Whine, whine, whine. What's wrong with you? Victim lives in ego too. Is everybody with me? All right. So, the ego's tool is to navigate matter. But the ego, in order to keep you safe, has to stay in charge. Everybody take a breath. How to stay safe? In this world, your ego has to stay in charge because it navigates matter. That's what you believe. How many of you, from your mental mind, calculated whether it was safe to come here today? Everybody did. Because of the ice. Is there still ice on the street? Is there ice on the side street? Am I going to make it there? Will I make it back? Or how many of you went to your higher self and said, Spirit, am I supposed to go or not? One. Two. Do you see? We go to that outer safety, the position in the outer first. How much does that limit our intuition? A lot. It limits our intuition a lot when we're checking our movement in the outer first. So, in Saul's case, he didn't know how to be in the outer, so he was afraid. So we'll get back to Saul's story. The people accepted Saul. Oh, yay, we have a king. Saul's the king. Saul didn't know how to be a king. So the scripture tells us Saul goes back and plows his field. I don't know how to be a king. So Saul is plowing his field when he gets word that one of the smaller edge towns are going to be trounced on. They've got some enemies coming too. They're very aggressive too. These guys are aggressive in the Old Testament. Oh my goodness, they ask them to tear their eyes out, and it's just awful. So seriously. So Saul's like, oh, what do we do? Because they're coming to him now. He's the king. So he has to leave his field, gather the tribes, and Sam had told him God would be with him. So they go out and they have a conquest. Oh, well, now this feels good. So Saul has a conquest. Oh. Saul doesn't go back to his field. Saul feels this new position in the outer. Because he had to. He had to go protect his people. So now he has this new strength. So he actually builds an army around him. He says, okay, I'd like to have an army now. So he gets people around him, gets everything going. Now he starts having some skirmishes. He's out there battling people and winning. And he's having a great time. Because the ego now understands how to navigate this space. Now, who took him to that space? Ego? No. It was the vision of the prophet Samuel. God had a greater vision for Saul. And once the ego's tasted it, it now can navigate it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So how many runaway egos do we have in the room? Okay. Now that I can navigate, I got it covered, God. So what happens was Samuel had told him a long time ago, I'm going to meet you at Gilgal. You'll wait for me 7 days. I'm going to put up a burnt offering, and then you're going to have a fight, and you're going to win. This is a battle a couple chapters later. They're at Gilgal, and Samuel has his people. And it's been 7 days. And Saul has the people. It's been 7 days, and Samuel hasn't shown up yet. Samuel is the priest, the prophet, who is going to ignite the sacrificial fire to get God's blessing. And Samuel said, I will be there. I will be there. Saul watches as his troops start losing faith in him because Samuel is late. The troops start deserting. Ego says, no, we must do something. So Saul, who has never lit a fire before because he's not allowed to because he's not a prophet, lights the offering to God. As Sam comes over the hill. And Samuel says, what are you doing? And Saul says, but my guys were leaving. I had to do something. And Samuel says, you can't trust God. You can't trust me. You can't be king. And that was That was when Sam and Saul split. What it gives us is a beautiful example of how our egos, when they can't feel guidance from Spirit, feel like something has got to be done now because we are no longer safe. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Your ego may tell you it has brought you to this moment in time. And I'm going to tell you it did not. Because you are alive. You're alive. That life force within you, that uniqueness, that specialness that you are is not your ego. It's the Christ of you. It's your spirit. It's your heart. It's your essence. It's your child of God consciousness. That's what brought you to this moment. Fighting the ego along the way, I'm sure. But that ego keeps us in that moment of being trapped. I wanted to share, I didn't read much, but I wanted to share a story from the Aquarian. This is 130. Jesus has been out with probably Peter, James, and John, and the other disciples have been trying to heal, and they tried to heal an epileptic child, and they failed. They failed. Jesus comes and heals the child. And they said to him, "Why were we unsuccessful?" And Jesus says to them, "Your great success in your former work has made you careless, and you forgot to recognize the power of God. Your great success, your ego, your ability to navigate matter in the outer, said, 'I got this. I've done it a million times. I got this. Don't worry, God.' The problem is they weren't baking bread. They were healing. They were using God energy. And he said, without spirit, the word is like an idle tale, and you forgot to pray. There is no faith without the prayer of faith, and faith is the wings of prayer, but wings fly not alone. By prayer and faith, you can bring down the mountain peaks and cast them into the sea. And this failure may well be the greatest lesson for you to learn." And this is what they said. Let's see if I can find it specifically here. Spirit creates, ego simply navigates. When we seek to create, we cannot command spirit to serve with ego. And that's what they were trying to do. Ego cannot make spirit serve. Spirit is molded by spirit. And as we walk in this world of creation, don't we seek to get what we want, when we want, why we want? That ego. And then we wonder why it doesn't work. Well, God has failed me now. Because I've been practicing all the laws, and when I want one little thing of my own, commanding it to be so, it does not happen. Ego is not a creator. They also said that the ego can't even reproduce. It only navigates. It only navigates. So what happens is your ego takes you to a space in the outer and gives you a definition in that outer. This is my space in the outer. And through that space, then your Christ gets to express. Through that space. No keeps you stuck. And you wonder why you can't create something new? Well, the ego is taking you to a space of comfort and will not let you move forward. And you're going, "Come on, God, come on, God, come on, God." And your inner self is going, "I'm right here. Can we move? Can you give me something else? Do we have to do the same song again? Over and over again? Can we have something new?" Safety. What is the greatest, safest space in the world? It's in your heart, isn't it? When you feel that, when you all meditate and you hit that space of, "Oh, thank you." Some of you feel it when the choir plays. I love coming here on Sunday morning. I love coming here and listening to the choir do their practicing and stuff. If I'm kind of rocking about the service and not, the minute I come in and hear them, it just calms my soul and I connect with Spirit. It's like, "It's okay, Cindy. It's okay.